And he's the biggest threat ever. I mean, the fact that you could easily picture him as the one who is fulfilling biblical prophecies, that's all I'll have to say, is he fits it better than anybody else ever has in the history of the world. And it's amazing. And he wants to be the king of the world. He wants to be the ruler of the world. You can see it in his speeches. And he says it in his speeches just in America. We're going to change the world. Not just change America, but change the world. Oh, heck yeah, he's going to change America. Oh, heck yeah, he is. And it's going to be a scary, scary thing for those who don't agree with what he believes. And with the technology that we have now, like the show that I had about the NSA, Is Big Brother Watching You? Go onto my website. Go check that out. You'll see when you have somebody like Barack Obama in power who will have the ability to use all these spying techniques, you can get rid of your political enemies so easy, so quickly, without anyone really even knowing that you're doing it. It is a scary, scary thought. And guess what? Obama wants... here's an article from the 25th. Obama, $845 billion UN plan forwarded to the U.S. Senate floor. What is it? The Global Poverty Act, where each citizen would have to pay $2,500 or more. Did you hear me? You will have to pay to feed the rest of the world. Global poverty. The whole world's poverty, he believes America, Obama does, should have to pay and bring these people out of poverty. And they're always a lowball estimate. This is a lowball estimate that you're going to have to pay per person $2,500. Do you have $2,500 right now to give to Obama so that he can go and give it to somebody in a third world nation? Do you have that money? This already passed the House. Do you know this? It's already passed the House. It's in the Senate now. It passed the House because, well, House members said, well, we didn't know what was in it. Well, great. Thanks for telling us you don't know how to do your job. That's great. Anyways, now it's up. It's going to be brought up to the Senate. We don't know exactly when, but they're considering bringing this up since it's already passed the House. They'll wait. They'll wait till he becomes president so that they can pound it through. I'm telling you, he's going to destroy America. He is going to try to appease to the rest of the world. He's going to try to appease to the Muslims. And I should play you another cut to show you where he'll be sympathetic towards Islam. But I have to take a break, so you're going to have to stick around for that, and then I'll play you this cut on the Ben Armstrong Show. We'll be back with some cuts on Obama right after this.
The Ben Armstrong Show is a show for you and you only. Anyone else listening to this broadcast on your radio may be charged a small listening fee. Collect from your friends.
Keep on rocking the free world. Keep on rocking the free world.
Thanks to Brian Bileski, as always, doing a great job behind the scenes, having a blast, and loving that you're out in the audience. 1-800-923-9385. Let's try to get some of these cuts in. I played you one where Obama said on April 13th that Islam can be compatible with the modern world. That's just laughable in and of itself. But anyways, let's go on to cut two. Barack Obama campaign presser in California from February 1st, 2008, where he's saying, I will have credibility with the Muslim world. Go ahead and play cut two.
I also think that as somebody who has family living overseas, who myself lived overseas for a time, I would be able to, I think the world would see me as a different kind of president, somebody who can see the world through their eyes. And so I've said this before, if I go to a poor country to talk about how the United States and that poor country can cooperate, I do so with the credibility of somebody who has a grandmother who lives in a poor village in Africa. If I convene a meeting with Muslim leaders around the world to discuss how they can align themselves in our battle against terrorism, but also put the relationship between the West and the Islamic world on a more productive footing, I do so with the credibility of somebody who actually lived in a Muslim country for a number of years.
Wow. Really? Now, he's saying he has credibility in the Muslim world because he's lived in a Muslim country, but yet he denies that he ever grew up as a Muslim. But wait a minute. Would Muslims give credit to somebody just because they lived in the Muslim country, or would they only give credit to someone who actually was a Muslim? Oh, they only give credit to people who are Muslim. They don't give credibility to Christians that are living in Muslim worlds. But yet he's saying he has credibility in the Muslim world. The only way you have credibility in Muslim worlds is if you are from Islam. Do you understand this, folks? Now, he's trying to paint it like he's not, but he knows this. He grew up in the Muslim countries. Either he's the biggest moron on Islam in the history of the world, or he knows this stuff and he purposely shifts and tries to make it sound like something he's not saying when he's actually saying it right in front of your face. It's all right there. Now, I have something from C-SPAN. This is cut 4, Brian. He says that politics and fear make us scapegoat Muslims. Go ahead and play cut 4.
I've seen how politics can be used to make us afraid of each other, and how we turn on each other, how fear can cloud our judgment, and suddenly we start scapegoating gay people or immigrants or people who don't look like us or Muslims because our own lives aren't going well. I know how hard change is.
There you go, out of his own voice. And then he says he knows how hard change is. He knows how hard this change is going to be for America. Yeah, I know it too. The problem is the rest of the world doesn't know it. All right, if you don't believe me, why do all our enemies love Barack Hussein Obama? Cut 5, Ahmed Youssef of Hamas. He's a Hamas advisor. Endorsed Obama on April 13th. Let's listen to that. Cut 5. Go ahead and play that.
Politically, the Obama campaign is keenly aware of how important it is for him to not appear soft or weak on terrorism or extremism. That's why the strong words of support a few days ago from the Hamas prime minister's top political advisor, one Dr. Ahmed Youssef on WABC Radio in New York, could be so potentially damaging. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
We like Mr. Obama, and we hope that he will the election. And I do believe he's like John Kennedy, great man with a great principle.
Yeah, Hamas thinks he's a great man with great principle. Great man, great principle. We love him. If you love him, I hate him. That's all I have to say. That's enough for me. That's it. I don't need to know anything else. I don't need to know anything else. Do you? I can throw way more than just this out there. I don't have time. And I don't have time. Well, look, I got like a minute and a half, so I'm debating. Do I go to the phone line? I'm going to give Tony a real quick chance to get in. Tony from Livonia. We only got a short period of time. Go ahead. You're on the Ben Armstrong Show.
Thank you very much. Before I forget, yesterday's Investors Business Daily, in the editorial section, has a couple of pages on Barack's Obama-isms, his all the mistakes he's making and so forth. You'll find it very interesting. You should get a hold of it. You know, this guy, the more he reveals of himself, you know, he to me he's a fiction of the media and in his own books and so forth. And the more he reveals himself, I consider him an arrogant punk. You know, in the Senate for 140 days, he runs over to Europe. And he makes a speech. He pimps Reagan, and I think that's the term. He pimps Reagan and Kennedy in Berlin. This kid with his, you know, not even getting his feet wet. And by the way, on another, I'm talking fast here because I know I have.
Well, the music's up. I got to cut you off there, Tony, because I got to go. Thanks a lot. I'm glad you got a little bit of what you wanted to say in. Folks, I know I don't have a long enough show, and I apologize, but there's nothing I can do right now about that. I love you guys. You know the truth. It's been put before you. Accept it and spread it. That's all we can do. I love you guys. Remember, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by him. That is the gospel truth, according to Jesus himself. See ya!